Grab your spandex, your leg warmers, and tease your hair because we are about to travel back to March of 1985. It was in March of 1985 that we saw Mike Tyson's first professional boxing fight. Mikhail Gorbachev became leader of the Soviet Union. Madame Tussauds of London unveils their Michael Jackson wax figure. The first internet domain name is registered, and Beverly Hills Cop is still the #1 movie. In the world of sports, Mike Tyson made his professional boxing debut on March 6, 1985, when he fought Hector Mercedes in Albany, New York. He won by total knockout in the first round. The fight lasted 1 minute and 47 seconds. In the NBA, Larry Bird had a record night when he scored 60 points against the Atlanta Hawks on March 12th. His teammate Kevin McHale, just 9 days earlier, had set the franchise record when he scored 56 points against the Detroit Pistons. At the end of the month, we saw the first ever WrestleMania in Madison Square Garden. The main event featured Hulk Hogan and Mr. T defeating Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. And let me tell you, brother, Hulkamania was running wild. The NCAA tournament, or March Madness, expanded from 32 to 64 teams, and it was the last year where there was no shot clock. In politics, Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as U.S. president, and Mikhail Gorbachev became leader of the Soviet Union. This is important because of his contributions to the defeat of communism, and he later won the Nobel Peace Prize for his contributions to international peace. Back in the U.S., underground nuclear testing was taking place at a Nevada test site. On March 16th, a nuclear device was detonated 1,396 feet below ground. And the FDA approves the first blood test for AIDS. The president of the American Red Cross at the time, Richard F. Schubert, released a statement that read, "Testing for the antibody will help blood collection agencies to further improve the safety of the blood supply in the U.S. This is important because contaminated blood and blood products were contributing to new cases of AIDS." In music, #1 charting songs according to Billboard in March of 1985 were Careless Whisper by Wham and George Michael, Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon, and One More Night by Phil Collins. It was also in March of 1985 when Guns N' Roses first formed, when Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin's band Hollywood Rose joined forces with another band named the LA Guns, who happened to be looking for a lead singer. Slash, Duff McKagan, and Steven Adler would join the band in the summer, and the rest is history. The world watched as Christy Brinkley and Billy Joel got married on a boat in the New York harbor just outside the Statue of Liberty. Billy Joel was quoted in the People magazine saying, "The reason we're going on the boat is to get away from the press." Yes, even in March of 1985, celebrities were trying to escape the paparazzi. And after Stevie Wonder dedicates his Oscar for Best Original Song to Nelson Mandela, South Africa bans all of his records. At the time, Nelson Mandela was imprisoned in South Africa for trying to overthrow the government. At the movies, Beverly Hills Cop is still #1 after 13 weeks of being released. It will fall to #2 the next week when Witness starring Harrison Ford is released. Then it will climb back to the #1 spot one last time. Mask, starring Cher as a biker mom who has a son with a facial deformity, debuts. The movie is based on the true life story of Roy Lee Rocky Dennis, who suffered from a disorder that causes calcium to accumulate in his skull, resulting in the swelling of his head to twice the normal size. Friday the 13th, Part 5, yes, Part 5 debuts on March 22nd at #1. Spoiler alert, Jason is dead, and he only makes a cameo at the beginning of the movie in a dream sequence. At the end of the month, Desperately Seeking Susan, starring Madonna and Rosanna Arquette, is released. Despite Madonna's popularity at the time, it doesn't do that well, and it opens at number 14. Right after this, Madonna will embark on her first North American tour, and fun fact, the Beastie Boys are her opening act. Gas prices then were about $1.19 per gallon. That means I could fill up my tank for $15. Apple halts production in 4 of their production facilities, and this will be the first time that they'll have to stop production due to oversupply and slow sales. The products being made at that time were the Apple II, Macintosh, and Macintosh XL. IBM announces 2 new desktops on March 7th. The 5170 model 495 is priced at $9,420. The 5170 model 4950A at $8,130. And there's also a Model J that features extra space, but that's priced at $10,420. At the end of the month, Nissan's first American-made Sentra will roll off the assembly line in Smyrna, Tennessee. Nissan would become the 3rd Japanese automaker to make cars here in the U.S. Honda and Toyota were first. Mazda had also announced intentions of building a production facility here in Flat Rock, Michigan. At the time, Mazda was owned 25% by Ford. During March of 1985, the world saw many of the people and events they know so well today make their debuts. In sports, we watched as Mike Tyson made his professional debut in the boxing ring and won by total knockout in the first round. And we also saw the first ever WrestleMania. In politics, Mikhail Gorbachev becomes leader of the Soviet Union, and the first AIDS test is approved by the FDA. In music, the bands LA Guns and Hollywood Rose merged to form Guns N' Roses, one of the great rock bands to come out of the 80s. In the movies, we watch as Madonna makes her acting debut in Desperately Seeking Susan, and the first Nissan Sentra is rolled off an American assembly line. It's safe to say that March of 1985 definitely holds a place in history. And here's my audience: Chuck, my fiance Kirk, Scott, my dog Hank, and Tanya.